if you keep feeling annoyed, frustrated, hurt, and upset by one close family member, there is only one reason for that. You are disconnected from your true self, from the inner power that you are and the unity consciousness. And instead, you are identified with the ego mind. Today, I'll share with you why you are disconnected and how to reconnect with your true self. So imagine any of those scenarios that you keep on having with maybe your spouse or maybe with a child, some other member of your family, and that makes you frustrated, annoyed, or hurt. Then you are acting from your ego mind. If you were meeting that challenge from your heart and your true self, you would feel calm, you would allow them to be as they are, and you could maybe even smile about their behavior. It wouldn't touch you, it wouldn't get to you. So the reason it gets to you is because you are identified with your ego mind. How do you know that? Well, there is always the guidance that you have, that you experience, and that's the feelings. Fear, annoyance, frustration, anger, and hurt or guilt or shame. They are all emotions that the ego mind generates. Oh, poor me. I really am not seen here. Nobody loves me. I'm not wanted. They don't respect me. They think I'm stupid. They are not hearing my point of view. So it's all about me and about the little me who needs to be seen. There's nothing wrong with that. This is part of our human experience. But if you want to feel empowered and calm and at peace again, and you want to reconnect with your own love, you cannot get there by hanging out in the ego mind. And you need to see that we have, as human beings, two selves: the false little ego mind and the true self that resides in your heart, that is connected with your truth, that knows what's right for you, that knows what feels good to you, that knows your purpose, that knows why you're really here. And instead of the ego mind will think, how can I make this situation better? How can I get that person to do what I want them to do? How can I feel safer or heard or seen by that person? So the ego mind is always fighting for something, and it's looking outside, always outside, to be saved, to be rescued, to be heard, to be embraced, to be loved, to be wanted. It has a need. It comes from a need, always comes from a need. So can you see that now in your situation? I'd love to hear from you. Please share in the comments what is your greatest challenge and whether you can see now that you are acting from the ego mind. And again, there's no shame, no judgment about that. But we need to awaken from what we are doing to ourselves. As long as we are coming from our ego minds and we are not even realizing, we are fast asleep in that bubble, in that reality of poor me, I need help, I need rescuing, nobody loves me, I need to get it somehow from the outside, then we are disempowered. We cannot help ourselves while we are asleep in that dream of being the poor little me. And then the next stage is you are realizing you've got two selves, and you are recognizing when you're coming from the ego mind, who needs something and who's out to get something from the outside. And you also have your heart, and you're connected to your higher self, that is residing above your crown chakra in your soul star chakra, and you are connected to all that is the unity consciousness that you are a part of. So, as long as you are not remembering that true self and you're never really living from that true self, and instead you're trying to manage your life from your ego mind, you will not succeed in feeling empowered, loved, and at peace. You got to move out completely out of that ego mind, step by step, every day a little bit more. You're learning on the go. Life is here to show you how to reconnect when you've fallen out of your heart. And life is showing you when you are acting from your ego mind by giving you unpleasant emotions, right? And this is the greatest gift. If we didn't have our emotions and our feelings that tell us, oh, something is wrong, something isn't right here, why do I feel so stuck, why do I can't move forward, why am I feeling drained, why am I not in harmony with my husband, my partner? And it's always to remind you that you're not living from your true self, your heart, from the love and the truth that you are. Does that make sense? So basically, in those moments, you forgot who you truly are and you're completely identified with the little me. And again, that's how it goes being a human. But if you really want to stop fearing, certain outcomes, if you want to stop being angry and you want to take your power back and finally love yourself as you are without needing anybody on the outside, you cannot reside in the ego mind. You've got to come back to your heart. So now you know how to recognize when you are coming from your ego mind. And this is the most important step that we keep forgetting. Even I do that sometimes when I got triggered. I did too. And now I feel a pain, like the old belief I used to have is, oh, I'm just not wanted. And now I work with it immediately, as soon as I can, and then embrace that pain, to allow it to be there and to give it my love instead of looking on the outside for somebody who will hug me, somebody who will hear me, someone who will comfort me, someone who will give me something that makes my ego feel a little better, like go out somewhere for a meal or buy yourself a new dress. See, that those are just band-aids. They are lasting for an hour or two, but you haven't really healed the issue. To come back to your true self now is to use what would love do. Use those qualities that love would do. Allow what is there. Understand where you're coming from. Be present. Listen. And don't think about yourself in that moment. When you are the listener to someone else, you are only listening to that hurt part in you, because now it's all about being the parent, the friend, the person on the outside that you are longing for, searching for, to be that to yourself. So you withdraw all the energy from the back, from the outside back into your heart. You can close your eyes. Now, life has shown you the upset, the anger, the annoyance, the feeling drained, and now it's time to go inside. Life has done its job. So now you need to know what to do in order to come back to your true self. You use love, truth, and presence. So the first thing is love. Like I said, you use allowance, understanding, compassion. You embrace the part in you that's hurting, still hurting. There is something unresolved from your childhood, or something that you thought was true. Maybe you took on a belief your parents gave you, and you realizing now by using the tool of truth, oh, it's from them. They told me that. I never believed that. See, that's when you use truth, right? You're looking at what are you thinking? What is going on in your head when you're so annoyed or you're so hurt or you are fearful? And now the third tool is being present. You are inside, you've closed your eyes, you feel what's there. You slow down, you breathe into it, you embrace the pain or the fear. You are making your love, your inner love, that's always present, much bigger and stronger than the fear or the hurt. So it's very much like, the little child wants the love from the adult, and it's that sort of scenario. You are the adult. In truth, you are unity consciousness giving your human self the love that she wanted all along for a long, long time. So that is how you reconnect with your true self in that moment when you are feeling upset or anger or hurt. And when you do that again and again and again, instead of shouting at your family member or getting secretly annoyed, that's poisoning yourself, or you're poisoning the other. You are spreading more of the ego mind self, yeah? You're spreading a low vibration that is not aligned to your true self. And we don't want to do that anymore. We don't want to spread fear. We don't want to spread hate or anger. Instead, we want to heal that. And from then on, love ourselves more and more. Once we've done the first healing for ourselves, or the second, or the 10th, whatever, we want to stay loving within ourselves as much as we possibly can. Once you've done a healing session with yourself, the next step is then to keep up the living life from love. That means thinking, acting, and being love. You are sending out understanding, compassionate thoughts to your partner or your family member and to yourself. The most important thing to understand here is that you are acting from these old conditions, really, that because you never felt fully loved. And what you need more than anything is to love yourself. And after every healing session, give yourself the love by putting your hand on your heart and say to yourself, I love you. I love you. I love you. And you feel that from your heart. You are sending in that moment true, pure love to the part in you that felt upset or angry or annoyed. See, this is very, very important, because the more you do that, the more the little ego mind will shrink. You're not going to move out of the ego mind just like that, overnight, right? This is a building. So you're building more love within yourself and more truth and more presence. And by doing that, you automatically move away from your ego mind. Most people are still running their lives from their ego minds. The ego mind is the conductor, it's the controller, it says what needs to be done, and so on. And it really has you under control. But by becoming aware of that and seeing that, you take your power back. You are empowering yourself and you're disempowering the ego mind. This is where you want to go. And I really want to help you with that journey. I've done this journey for myself for the last 30 years. And I remembered who I was when I was 7. So I always knew that I am love, but I still had to conquer the ego mind that is kind of put over us when we come here. We all have that experience, it's the conditioning. And we need to learn to empower ourselves, to come back to being the master and the sovereign in our lives. And to help you with that, I am offering a free session all July for all the months, because it's my birthday month. And in that session, We are going through what's happening for you right now, where you want to be, and I am guiding you in one of your issues, one of the triggers that you are experiencing right now. I am going to guide you out of that so you can resolve that and you can experience how I work with you. And from there on, you can decide whether you want to do more sessions with me. So I want to help you a bit more now to remember who you truly are. It is an inner job, you have to go inside. Your true self is nowhere to be found out there. It's here in your heart. The first thing is to stop looking, searching, and wanting to be rescued or given something. One of my past clients asked me the other day, so how do I reconnect with the divine? And I said, by being the divine, by being how the divine would be. And that means coming from love, coming from truth, coming from presence, being love, peace, and joy, freedom, playfulness, being at ease, knowing that you're supplied, having no concerns, having faith, knowing that everything I always need will be supplied. Everything will always work out for me. And, you get there. Again, this is a daily practice. I do this every morning, every night, and lots of times in between, whenever I remember to connect with my heart. I feel my own love. I feel the vast amount of love that I have and the power of it, the healing power of it. And I feel the abundance. I sometimes look around in nature, look at the trees, how many millions of leaves it has. Look at the abundance, the beauty that's everywhere around you. That's unity consciousness. And I connect with that. I feel that abundance. I am an intricate part of that abundance. And I feel the freedom to choose from my heart. My heart always knows what is right for me right now, what feels good to me right now. And this is also present here in my heart. I know that when I am connected to my true self in my heart. So you've got to practice being your true self. It doesn't just come along. The most important work you can do is to heal and resolve what isn't helping you, what's actually hindering you. The next step is to become conscious of where and when you are not acting from love, truth, and presence. Presence. That was right. And then be the true self that you are. Be that love, that joy, that peace, the abundance, the freedom. Be that by feeling that. It is hard at the beginning and took me years and years. But by having someone guide you back to your inner stillness, where there is no more fear or no more anger or no more shame or whatever you are carrying, that's the first step, because if you don't have a guide, it takes so much longer. I will also leave you a link to sign up for that free session. And I'm also recommending to watch this next video here if you want to find out more about my sacred path back to my heart. Until next time, lots of love. And remember, love no matter what.